God damn, I fucking love my job. I love doing this, especially when you see things that don't seem to be interconnected, yet when you pull that thread, you find an intimate relationship that affects one another in ways you just couldn't possibly see before. Guys, this is Fernando doing another video for Tomorrow Survivalists, and as always, if you enjoy the kind of content that I do here, if you want to get better prepared, subscribe to the channel. You also have my books, which I always recommend: Survival Skills and Surviving the Economic Collapse. Both of these super relevant, giving everything that's going on in the world. But what is it that we have to talk about today? We have this woman, Tyler Bender, a Mormon lady in her early 30s, I would assume, with some thing going on in the skin that could not be covered by makeup, lights, or photo editing, apparently. Well, not trying to be an asshole, but let's put things into context. So, what are passport bros, right? What are passport bros? Well, I've always kind of been very big in the idea of getting a second citizenship. So, passport bro is that. I mean, for what I do in terms of preparedness, passports are huge. Being a passport bro for me would have meant, like, yeah, getting a second citizenship because of how much of a powerful tool it is. You're looking at having the option of going to another country and just being like a regular old citizen. You're looking at being able to go there and study, maybe a lot cheaper than if you're just a normal foreigner in some other land. Depending on where you're looking at, you have countries that have certain benefits. Some passports are more powerful than others in terms of education, quality of life, potentially living there, finances included. Basically, guys, this is something I've been doing for a long time, as you probably know if you've been here along. And this is one of the things you notice is anyone with money has a second passport, a second citizenship. It is kind of it's super common, like when you see, oh yeah, actor whatever, or this guy, or this, he's also Canadian, or he now has this citizenship, or this other citizenship. Yeah, lots of guys that went the other way and have U.S. citizenship when they were from Australia, wherever. But one of the things that you see people with money do all the time is they buy a passport. Buy a passport from one country or the other, or essentially any passport is better than just having one. Any second citizenship is always going to be better. Some countries, in Europe, any member of the European Union opens the entire rest of the countries of the European Union as an option. And that's quite cool if you get that passport from whatever EU member country you're looking at. Then there's other countries that are like, St. Kitts or whatever, these places that you probably rarely heard of, but it's mostly banking stuff. That is another realm of its own. So there's a huge advantage. And trust me on this, given everything that I've done over the years in this field, it is the most powerful tool a human being can have. If we go past the mindset, the physical capabilities that you have, looking after yourself, being healthy and so on, besides that, physically speaking, the passport is massive. It's one of the more powerful tools you can have, along with a shit ton of money. If that's an option, if those are things you have, then you're pretty much good. Everything else, all of this shit you'd see in terms of food, tools, this and that, all of that is easily acquired. But if you have a lot of money and you have a second passport, the world is very much lots of options for you. But hey, let's go into this, which is the passport bro thing. So I was looking, I had seen something about passport bros, and I just tapped in here into YouTube, good old YouTube, passport bro, and this was one of the first videos that popped up. And here I see a couple things. Well, I mean, there's this woman here, but this guy and this thing, this is from a reality TV series where these guys go from the United States to Philippines looking for a woman. And yeah, he's not all that gooding of a guy. He looks like a potato. And this woman looks certainly younger, and I guess she could do better, right? Well, it used to be, and this is what I'm talking about, how super interesting this is in terms of how things have changed. It used to be that guys from you, and this is what passport bro actually means, in case you're not familiar. This is nothing new. The idea of mail order bride has been around for a very long time. Many years. I'm talking about 50 years ago, you would still see ads of mail order brides from Russia, right? Or whatever, any other place. But the idea of mail order bride is back from the pre-internet days, in which mail not email, but sending actual letters and sending pictures. And yeah, you probably got catfish and scammed all the time. But this is something I've seen. This is like at least 10 years old, this dating thing that they had going on here. So yeah, super below average looking guy with a young woman from Philippines, I guess. And sure, it kind of sucks for him. Or not. Maybe she's looking for someone that's a nice guy and doesn't care all that much about looks, or prioritize other things in terms of looks, which is something that women used to do a lot more. But hey, let's go into this because it's super interesting. Not the things that this woman says. She's like, what? Wannabe actress turned into a early 30s comedian that is not actually funny. And anyway, I mean, not trying to be an asshole, but come on.
Broke. Today we're talking about why passport bros are the newest scum of...
Was it broke?
Passport bro? More like passport broke. Today we're talking about why...
Oh, and the gems are already here. The passport broke. This is a super American thing. This is something that always caught my attention. And yeah, 90% of you guys watching this from US. What is it with, is broke an insult? Being broke, being poor is an insult? Is some kind of, and the way in which many of these people, especially in social media and all of the dating thing of you have to be tall, handsome, rich, they call broke people that maybe make more than the average salary in US, like the average income in US maybe is what these guys are making, and they're still considered broke. The detachment from reality that some of these people have is super concerning. Super concerning in terms of what I do here, which is the survival of the species as well as our own personal individual preparedness. But it's not about surviving ourselves. We have to survive as a species. If humanity ends, we go along with it, no matter who you are. So the survival of the species is very much at risk because of shit like this. These women that have no fucking connection with reality, they think that a guy that makes what, 100K is broke? What is it like? The average salary is what in US? 50? 60K these days? That is fucking average. So if you're below average, you're still making an income. Maybe you're not even still considered poor. If you're poor, and even if you are damn fucking poor, what is it? What's the big deal? Everyone has been poor at some time or another, most likely, unless you come from an extremely wealthy family. But starting over, shit, nothing. You start with nothing at all, and then you start building up. Are you less appealing or less marry, wifey, husbandy material when you're broke? That is very much an American thing. I was broke as fucking... I got married in the middle of this, dude. You know? There was nothing. Not only did you have nothing at all, you start from zero, right? You're dealing with an economic full-blown fucking collapse in which everything is dead, nothing is moving. Everyone is all of a sudden broke. Everyone is desperate. You have a collapsed economy, and you're getting married, and you don't have a damn thing. And yeah, still very much married, so it was not about how much money I had, that was for sure, or her, or my wife. But that's an American thing. That's not normal. That's one of those things that you guys do that is fucking weird. How the hell do you expect someone young starting in life to have, money, any bit of it? And the idea that you first have to become rich and then you become a high value guy, well, you're gonna be getting 403s like this weird thing here with and whatever poor fucking bastard ends up with this person, dude, it's not worth it. Yes, she's a solid 4 or 5, I guess, but dude, I know that these are desperate times for lots of men out there, but I don't see a ring in here, but probably she has something going on. Dude, if you are the man that is right next to this person, you can do better. You can do better in life, like being alone and playing lots of Fortnite, I would guess would be even better than being next to this person. She is human poison just by hearing her a few minutes in. But hey, let's go back to this thing. So the idea of being broke, that's actually...
Passport bro? More like passport bro.
So The idea of being broke is, yeah, you're starting in life at early, late teens, early 20s, and you have nothing going for yourself. Well, you find someone that's on the same condition, most likely. You're not going to find a super hot young multimillionaire woman. I mean, that's going to be very unlikely. But you know what? You find someone that you actually like physically, that you like getting along with, that you laugh with, and you have the same ambitions and projects in life and the same priorities. And how much money you have in the bank account at that moment means super little. You're looking at someone to do things together. Not someone, oh, okay, now I see that you have a shit ton of money. Now I'm marrying you. Well, you're looking at someone that is interested in marrying you literally for what you have. That is exactly what you don't want. It should actually be something that you're hush-hush about. You don't tell people that you have money and you're looking to start a relationship with. That is a super American thing, even for people that are not in dating. It's you value people by how much money they make. And again, so fucked up, given that some of the people that I know that have the most money are very messed up people that would not be enjoyable to be around with a long time. They even know that themselves, and that's usually because of their priorities being a lot more inclined towards making a shit ton of money rather than prioritizing friends, family, relationships, and and the idea itself that you are focusing so much of your life in just making money probably means that there's something wrong with your priorities all along. So just having money is not a virtue on its own. I mean, money sure as hell is nice, but if that's your only priority in life as the people you connect with, you have fun with, you hang around with, well, you're kind of like a 403, You're kind of like the people that do that sort of shit. But yeah, mostly the advice, guys, here is no. It's not going to be about how much money you have.
Today we're talking about why passport bros are the newest scum of the earth. Recently, a clip from
Wow, so hateful. And the passport bro thing. So, as I was saying before, the passport is massive. It gives you so many options in terms of some of the worst possible situations you could be in life. Many of those at a greater scale, right? In terms of this stuff, in terms of large scale disasters, your country going down because of economic, social changes, or in foreign invasion, what you see in the Middle East right now, what you see in Ukraine, what you see in a number of places, what you see in UK right now. Think about that. How many people would love? I get these messages all the time. I'm in UK. I want to get the fuck out of here. This is not the country it used to be. Just not that long ago, there's people that remember seeing things have been happening for a long time. There's people that want to leave the United States right now, increasingly so. We'll get into that because of this nice video here that she actually brings up. It's incredible to have someone so limited actually brings up several good points. Maybe there's that, oh yes, like secret genius out there. Anyway, there's a lot of people in places that never thought you want to leave, and then all of a sudden, yeah, I need that fucking passport. Well, those guys in UK used to have it. Now that they're not in the European Union anymore, that's not an option. That was, you got fucked over very bad with that one. But you used to be a passport bro in the sense that I reference it, not the, what we'll talk about here in a second about the dating stuff. No, in terms of I have options. I can go work. I can go study like any other citizen from whatever country in Europe I'm looking at. I can do that because I have my European passport. When you're not in that club anymore, that's gone. And that limits your options a lot. So now you're kind of trapped. This is like the now you can't leave scene from that movie, the Brooklyn story, is it? Anyway, it's a little bit like that. So when you lose those options, that's a big hit, given that you used to have them before. But it's increasingly so that having a second citizenship, a passport, it's more and more important. And then we get to the passport bro thing.
I've been going all over the internet, and I have been binging it like crazy. I hate to admit it, but I have been there. I've been sat. Let's react to a few of these. As these clips of Faith and Lauren on 90.
Well, she
She's
talks
so
about,
happy.
She talks about the TV that she watched. Lady, it's reality TV. It's all most likely fake. Are there a few guys from US looking for Filipino women? Yes, of course. Not a surprise. Mail order brides have been around for almost half a century or maybe more.
Be about $1.50 on this dress. He feels like he is the man of the hour. This is great, but from everything I've seen, she's under the impression that she's going back to the States with him. But he's under the impression that he can dupe her and stay in the Philippines so that he can afford a lifestyle.
What is that? What is going on there? It's some... Anyway.
3 pesos and $2.
Yeah,
It's
that's
okay.
fine. Whichever 3 you want.
Yes. O galing siya sa US.
Oh, this is so sad, so pathetic. And she's right again. She's right. She makes some great points. So the passport bro basically is a guy that is the modern day mail order bride, right? It's a guy that goes to Philippines or Eastern Europe or anywhere, usually a more impoverished country, and they go with their, yeah, I have my $10 and I can buy 3 dresses because I'm super rich here. And it's kind of pathetic. And let me tell you, even in these third world countries, if you want to have the same standard of living, yeah, you're not going to be wielding around your big dick money with the average US salary. It's going to be maybe even more expensive to have the same standard of living in a place like Philippines or most other third world countries compared to the same standard in US. Why? Well, because it's more rare. It's far more rare to have that same standard of living in an impoverished nation than in a developed one. So what I'm saying here is that if you want to have a nice house, it's not going to be your 300, 200K nice house in a not expensive state. You know what I mean? In a smaller town, not in the main city. But yeah, you can find a nice place somewhat for that money in some places. Well, if you want to have that same place in Philippines, it's going to be $500,000. And it's going to be private security, which you will have to pay for. And if you want to send your kids to school in which you're not getting stabbed shot at all day long, well, you will have to pay for private schools. And it may be cheaper ones, it's going to be shittier. And if you want the nicer one, it's going to be super expensive. It's going to be $500, maybe $1,000 a month for the nice private school, which may well end up being nicer than the one you have in US. But it's going to be $1,000 a month. It's not exactly cheap. So all of these things add up. And this is something that lots of these, sad motherfuckers don't really know. They think, oh, I'm going to Philippines and I'm bringing a couple $1,000. This makes me super rich in this place. So for this poor woman, it probably does. She thinks it's a big deal that she's buying 3 dresses for $10, and she's like, yeah, he's from the U.S. And the guy, oh, wealthy. I mean, it used to be that way, I guess, 30 years ago. These days, man, no, but I see this too, and some people actually behave like that, and it's kind of weird. But anyway, let's go on.
Oo nga, man.
Ew, and the shopkeeper's hyping this guy up like...
There, what is all of this stuff? What is it? I don't know if she's 50 or 30. Anyway, I don't know. It's weird. But let's go back to the topic here.
Wow, he really spoils you. He bought you 3 $1 bandanas.
She's a little bit funny. So she's trying to be a comedian, I think, and it's not too much, but the funny part is the guy doing just that, thinking that he's a big shot because he bought 3 $1 dresses, right? That's a sad and funny thing there. Anyway.
Huge fact. She is under the impression that she's going to America and getting a better life for her.
Oh, but this is what I loved about this video. This, guys, shows exactly what I've been talking about here all the time. This shows how things have changed. It used to be when those shows were first aired, when the first guy, this short no-neck dude had... It was in that reality TV, like, I don't know, it's got to be like 12 years old or even older. That's super old. I remember watching that many years ago. It used to be that from the Philippines, you wanted to go to the United States. You know what's happening now? Things are so fucked up. People are looking to get the anchor baby outside the United States. I get this shit all the time from people looking to leave the United States. It is increasingly so. I mean, there's always been a few here and there, and I've written books. The book about bugging out and relocating was written because of that, in many aspects too, because that's something that people were increasingly looking into. I want to leave the United States. And my advice would usually be, well, you know what? You probably have this grass is greener on the other side of the hill thing, and trust me, it's usually not. Now it's increasingly the case that, yeah, the grass is damn greener on the other side of the hill because it's looking so bad on your side that it definitely is. But what's happening now, which is fascinating, is this. Check this out.
Herself and her future. And then after all of that, after all the shopping, after coming all the way out there, he drops this bomb. I'm really not sure what he does for a living. And then
About our future together.
this girl seems so sad, and he decides not to tell her about this huge fact.
Whichever three you want.
And now he's spending like crazy at the market. He seems very impulsive. That worries me about our future together.
This girl seems so sweet and demure. He spent $5 and she's worried about his pocketbook. I think in America, $5, that can't even buy you McDonald's anymore. He's her with $5. And then he goes to family dinner and he drops this bomb.
In America, I'm homeless. I don't make enough money to afford to live anywhere.
They've been speaking online for months on end, and he decides not to tell her about this huge fact. She is under the impression that she's going to America and getting a...
So the guy is homeless in US. So much for being the rich American. But of course, he spent $5 in the market. So how could he not be super rich? But this is, I mean, maybe this is a little bit more extreme. But given the cost of living and the, yeah, I'm not really all that surprised that the guy is actually homeless and has nowhere to go. He's looking to go to her place. He is the mail order bride in reverse. He wants to go live in Philippines with his shitty salary that probably doesn't afford him to live. It's about personal decisions, choices, how much you work at things and not, and so on. But it's increasingly the case that more and more people find themselves in that situation out of no fault of their own, simply because things are fucking rough, man. Again, get the books and read them because that's where you're heading. And even if the guy there's a lot of people that are homeless and they have a job. They have a steady job. But it's not a job that affords them. It's not what is going on with it? What is this? Let me know in the comments. Is it like some skin disorder of some kind? Why is it all like, and she's wearing makeup for sure. And she has a light, that's right on her face. YouTubers usually have like a strong light. And that usually, what is going on with that? Anyway, it's increasingly the case that even with a steady job, he cannot afford a place to live in. And that's fucked up. That's not right. If you're working a full-time job, you should be able to have a roof over your head. But look at what's happening now. It's reversed. Anyway, I think this is fascinating, and this is increasingly the case. They want to go the other way around, or maybe even more so, they want to get that other passport that I was talking about. Because if he marries the Filipino woman, I actually knew an American illegal immigrant that wanted to marry a woman in Ireland for the citizenship. Yeah, he was like in hot water already. So that's happening. That's happening already. It was a little bit more uncommon, very like, well, oh, that's a one-off weird thing. But now it's becoming more and more common because the economy sucks. It's really worse than they are saying that it is. And it shows.
Better life for herself and her future. And then after all of that, after all the
With you? Yeah.
to avoid child support, that's what the rumors are saying. So, but wait, there's more.
I have gonorrhea.
So she spent the night with you? Yeah. Then do you have sex together? Yeah.
After weeks
The guy has he's a homeless guy with gonorrhea. He wants to... So she has a great point. It is kind of funny. It is fucked up, but it is still funny. That gonorrhea homeless guy he's a, you have your American guy. Yeah, well, he's a homeless gonorrhea infected dude. Oh, damn it. And he's going to be living in your place in fucking Philippines because he has nowhere to go.
Philippines, months of me, this is cheating. He denies ever being to ask women
Let's skip
opinions and independence, and they don't.
Okay, so enough of this. Is gonna be a long video. Maybe I should do a shorter video. Anyway, I'll post this nonetheless because I think there's good stuff here. So on one hand, you have the mail order bride thing, you have the passport bro thing, and that's one aspect of preparedness that I see here in terms of the power of the second citizenship Just looking at that silly one. The passport thing is massive. It is. Let's better do this like that. There you go. So the passport thing is massive. It is a huge asset when things start going very, very bad. And you just never know. It could be anywhere. At this point, again, it's UK, US, Europe, anywhere in the world. We have reached that point of instability where nothing can be taken for granted. So I insist, if you have the option, I'm not talking about go marry someone in the Philippines, look into the options that you have, maybe in your grandparents, maybe someone from Europe that you have. If it's like first, second generation, there is a very good chance that you can get, and it's basically going to be for free once you do all of the paperwork. It's just a lot of time involved, but man, it is massive. And given the way things are these days, it is. And the people that I know that have money, I don't know a single person that does have, some serious amount of money that they don't have at least one other passport. People with money have more than one citizenship, and they just buy it. It's usually going to be one of the first flexes of people that have money is, I bought my second citizenship. And that's why I insist, if you can get it for free, it is stupid not to get it, because that's going to be something that costs $500,000. $1 million. It costs a lot of money usually, and it's getting more and more expensive because it's obviously worth it. So if you can get it for free, absolutely, you definitely should. But the other part of this video is her being pissed at the passport bros. These guys that are saying enough of the traditional women these days found in US, and we're fed up with these wokey feminist lunatics, and we're just looking elsewhere. We're going to look in some other country. We're looking in Philippines, some Asian women that still have more of these traditional values, some of the Eastern European women. I think that in US it's the worst that you have. I think that European women are noticeably more traditional, more family oriented, even though it's still quite bad in many aspects. I think that in Central and South America, it's even a little bit more so the case, that more traditional for many women, even though you still have lots of these hoes, that some of these they think, the contamination that is coming through the cultural thing, the entertainment industry, the movies, all of the things that come out from America in terms of installing these cultures and these trends, it is getting elsewhere. It is affecting society, but it's gonna be maybe less so in Eastern European countries. Although you have a ton of these Russian or Eastern European women that are just really super materialistic and only want someone that has money. And usually it's going to be not rare to hear about women that got married, moved to US, divorced the guy immediately after having a couple kids, and they had that plan all along. So it's not really all that rare. It happens. I know of a guy or two that did marry someone that especially seems passport bro-ish, a mail order bride-ish. Oh, you were what, traveling on business in Russia? Okay, and you met over there while your business? Alrighty. Some of them seem happy. Who am I to judge? I actually met one she was a woman from Central America, and she met this guy through fucking radio, shortwave, right? And things like that do happen, and it's not always it's gonna be you waking up in a bathtub with ice and your kidneys being stolen. It's not always gonna be that. There are people. It is true that in many of these places there is a larger amount of more traditional women, and it's not like this wannabe comedian says that, oh, they're all just too poor and desperate, and that's why the passport bros are taking advantage. There's probably some of that, true. There's going to be some of that, but there's also going to be a lot of, these are women that have different priorities, from Tyler Bender, comedian here. Her priorities are what? This woman's priorities are being famous and becoming a rich comedian, actress, or YouTuber, or whatever the hell falls on her lap. The priority for some of these women is actually having a family, having a husband, being a wife, having kids, looking after those kids. And if the husband is maybe not all that good looking, well, as long as he's a good man, provides for his family, she is more than happy. That's her goal all along. She's going to be happy with that. That is maybe more so the case of a larger percentage of the female population in these countries than it is in the U.S. There's going to be women like that in U.S. as well. But it's noticeable, and I would place my bet safely on there's going to be less of that in U.S. than in some of these other countries where the so-called passport bros are looking. And you have some of these passport bros that are absolutely creeps and disgusting scumbags like gonorrhea guy there. And there's guys that honestly, I'm just a neat guy that is looking for a woman to have a family with, which is perfectly acceptable and entirely understandable that you want to find that, right? So no, it's not that passport bros are all disgusting, lady.
The dating market. Well, 90% of women are allowed to be active. Entitlement of these people is ridiculous. Applebee's in the fucker. If you are a part of a Reddit thread that's just about going overseas to take advantage of young women, then you are a professional dater too, because you have clearly invested lots of time and money into this. And if you're too broke to date women in your own fucking country, maybe
too broke. To the guy that is dating this thing, bro, dude, friend, brother, you can do better. This woman constantly brings up being broke as being something negative in a relationship. She is as materialistic, as disgustingly dead on the inside as a person I've ever seen. Go be alone. Find someone else. Yes, there's gonna be someone better out there for you in the United States, in Japan, or even in the fucking moon. Because even if you end up alone, it's better than this human black hole of an excuse of a person. She's horrible. She's fucking horrible. It's funny because, broke. You're broke. Yeah. What is it? What if you're broke? You're what? Not kind. Not a good human. Not a good person. Not a guy that has projects, plans. You are looking to do better for yourself, and you start from broke. Yeah. Usually when you're 19, 20 years old, that's what you are. And that's the moment in which you find someone that has the same values as you do, not someone that's looking for money. If you're a 30-year-old guy and you have to flex how much money or little money or whatever it is, who the fucking cares? If you have to flex your money or something similar, like driving around a car that's more expensive, and the female that you've attracted is sniffing around money, dude, you're getting a gold digger. You're getting yourself a broken person, someone with no soul that just cares about money. These women that end up with these old dudes, and you know what happens? It used to be that these women ended up with older guys with money, and yeah, that's perfectly understandable if all you want in life is money. No, these bitches end up alone because they want a young, beautiful, tall, handsome, successful millionaire 20 years old, and it doesn't fucking exist. And if there's one guy out there that is handsome, successful, and super rich, he's not gonna end up with weird lady failed comedian here. He's gonna go for the super high value woman in terms of what he considers high value, which he may be completely misguided about what that is. Maybe going for a model of some kind, a young, hot Victoria's Secret model who ends up being an awful person and a gold digger, just like this one here. That sucks. That sucks for you. Now, there's guys that are a lot smarter than that, but you know what? Guys that are really a lot smarter, they're already out of the market. They found someone already. They just knew what they wanted, they got that, and they're not in their 30s looking around to see if they marry some 403.
If you put as much time into your real profession as you do, you might be able to date women in your own country. You might be able to afford to
that's another one. These guys are looking for women out of their own country. It's just because they're broke and they just... No, it's also true that there's... And I do believe that in the United States, if you look around, you can find a woman that has your same values. She's wife material, and she's not a fucking gold digger, failed comedian. And that's something that you can find, right? You can't do that. But I can't shit on the guy that is spreading his options. I mean, because you can't do that. the passport bro, I mean, probably the passport bro doesn't even have a passport. He's just looking outside. He's looking at, okay, I'm looking here, but it is the internet age. I can go online and see if there's something that interests me outside here, and maybe I do connect with someone, and we do have the same ideas. And yeah, you're always open to scams, which can happen anywhere, also in US, in case you haven't noticed that. But yeah, I cannot blame on the guy for looking outside.
Take a woman to Applebee's in the United States. Also, many of the professional daters hit the gym every day about noon to work off the previous night's champagne and lobster. It's just tricky. Like, how gross to have so many ideas on what a perfect woman is when guaranteed you're a crusty old white dude. The entitlement of these people is ridiculous.
Crusty old white dude. Let me guess. Let me guess who she's hanging out with, dating, or whatever. Who she is in a relationship thing. Let me guess. Yes, I see a black dude in her. No, you don't. You 403. No, you don't. You just shits on white. And again, I'm speaking to whoever poor bastard is sleeping with this thing here. Dude, this is what she actually thinks of you. She thinks that because you're a white dude, you're less than the black dude she's banging on the side. Apparently, you don't even deserve honesty at this point. You're just a crusty old white dude. And remember that. You will one day be a old white dude. The kind of person she shits on, because she shits on you already. This is the kind of person that deserves to end up being a fucking cat lady. And she probably will. She probably will, after fucking up the life of one or two guys along the way into her cat lady future. This is a horrible human being, but there's a lot of this, and there's even worse, if you can believe that. Why is it that I always stop this when she's looking like some fucking demon? Anyway, yeah, maybe that is something. I don't know. I don't want to shit on this person. Look, what I'm talking about here is something else. These are real issues. We're looking at a very complex reality everywhere in the world, so the passport thing is huge, but also very much related to survival and preparedness. We're going fucking extinct because of this. I've done videos about this before. This is what's going on. This is what's wrong with the world. This is why we will all go extinct in less than 100 years. I'm not making shit up. Look at the fertility rates. People don't want to get married. People don't want to have kids. People don't want to form families, mostly because of horrible people like here, right? Mostly because of this. Who the hell would? Who wants to have that as the mother of your children, or what you wake up to every single fucking morning? And it's not just what's on the outside. Which, let's be honest, it could be worse, but it's on the inside what's fucking even more horrible. Who wants to have that in their lives? So this is why, and it's strongly promoted by the elites. It's all over the mainstream media, entertainment, movies, series, the culture in general. The idea of, yeah, I'm super strong, and if being a boss girl means I sleep around with a bunch of guys, and by the time I'm 40, I want to have my kid with a good husband. These yos don't realize, no, it's not only just too damn late for any serious guy to, form a family with you. It is fucking biology. You're a geriatric mother by that time. Yes, like old folks home. It is a medical term. It is not an insult. Geriatric mother. Geriatric, correct? Anyway, fucking old for biology to conceive and have children. Yes, past 30 years old, you're old. After you're 30, you're old. You can just accept that or not. I sure as hell do. This white beard doesn't come out of being a teenager. You're older each fucking day, and if you spend your life sleeping around with a bunch of dudes from Tinder, there's a good chance you wasted your damn life. And talking about Tinder, she thinks that's how women are being empowered these days. Let's go back to demon lady comedian here.
Check out this one. Passport Bros is men's answer to Tinder. Tinder has reshaped the dating market in that it gave all the power to women to choose the men they want, which is exclusively the top 10% most attractive men in any given population. This pushes 90% of men out of the dating market, while 90% of women are allowed to be active. Kind of like free entry for ladies at a club, where the ladies are also the bouncers. You feel personally attacked by the app Tinder. I'm going to be honest. It is like a fair market. Like, how are you gonna be pressed that Tinder exists? How are you gonna be pressed that you're not getting game? There are so many options here. The next app Tinder. I'm going to be honest.
Not getting game. So this poor woman thinks that Tinder empowers women. No. Tinder is where horrible people usually end up gathering. And yeah, maybe someone that didn't know better went into this thing. Yeah, I'm single. I'm looking to date. Well, have you tried Tinder? Well, no, isn't it like for hookups? I'm looking for a serious relationship. Oh, well, yeah, there's people that actually meet in Tinder and get along very well. Okay, guess I give it a shot. And then you fall for this crap, because what happens in this Tinder thing, and I looked into it because I'm super interested in all of these weird fucked up mechanics, is that you end up with women, right? Women and men sign up to Tinder. Obviously, the software does not treat both of them equally. And also there's a process by which you swipe, right? You swipe left and right. I don't know which one is which, but you basically swipe, and the one you like, you give it like a like. I don't know if it's like a heart, like an Instagram, like, oh, I like this guy or I like this woman. So that's what basically you do. Now, the big difference is that men, especially men going on a dating app, are looking maybe just to not have to pay for a prostitute, while women think that, oh, I'm super empowered. I'm going to get myself a hot guy for tonight and go out on a date. Instead of realizing, no, you're just a free hooker, which is what these guys consider you, right? So there is an enormous difference between what is a man and what is a woman. Given that we're in a weird-ass parallel universe where we forgot about what those are, well, these women think that just because a guy likes her or goes out with her or bangs her, she is worthy of, oh, I'm worthy of attention. No, you're not. You're just a piece of meat for a guy. And just because you happen to like a guy that is above average looking, right? Because that's how this goes. As she says, 90% of men are out of the dating market because women will go for the most beautiful dude, right? They will not go for, it is very simple. These guys will bang anything that is not completely vomit-inducing, and women will have the option to be picky. So I'm going to be picky. I'll just pick the hot guy. Oh, this guy actually wants to bang me. Wow, this is amazing, right? And she ignores 90% of the other guys that are not as good looking as those top 10. Those 10 guys bang all of the 90% of the women in this app, and what you end up is a fucking disgusting, toxic reality in which no one has anything here of value. The guys are definitely not husband material or even much of a person that you want to spend a lot of time with. They're just constantly going after women on Tinder, right? They get one date different every single night. And the women are basically the same thing. Now, the enormous difference is that men, they have a little bit more of wiggle room in terms of, I used to be a bit of a man, a 403 myself. So now I'm settling down in my 30s. I find myself a nice early 20 woman that hasn't been, riding a train in this town all day long, and they haven't already screwed on Tinder. That's the person he probably ends up marrying when he decides to settle. And she's not getting much of a deal with that guy. But hey, if he's good looking and has money, maybe she's happy with it. Now, for the women, you've been passed along like a used sock. What are you worth now? Oh, that means nothing. My body count, guys, that's the amount of people you've slept with, right? So these days, the body count is something that you should not even ask of women. Why? Because they've been passed around. Some of them have been passed around so much that it's disgusting to even know the number. As if your future, I don't care about my past. Really? So I'm a mass murderer. You really don't want to know anything about my past? yeah, I'm gonorrhea guy. You really don't want to know anything about my past? Of course you do. It is part of who you are. What you've done in the past matters because that's what you bring to the table. Anyway, this video is getting super long, but I just thought it is sad, it is super concerning, and dude, get yourself a passport, not because of this crazy future cat lady, but because yeah, I think that in terms of dating and all of that sort of thing, do whatever you can, find someone. Don't wait around too much, because there's a time for everything. There's a time in which there's a time in which guys should be really looking into having grandkids, and they're still looking, I'm just still, seeing my options out there. And even sadder for women, you're just now old, and you're just being passed around in Tinder, in whatever circle of pervs that is. And that's just depressing, Guys, especially one guy, whoever is with this woman, if there is anyone, it could be, who knows. But let's say there is someone there, dude, run. Run like fucking Forrest Gump and escape that future night, that nightmare in which you're already in. Take care. See you later.